Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to VBA for everyone. In the last video, we talked about how to label a line in VBA and how to use that label with help of goto function. With goto function, we can skip certain commands and we can choose which commands to run. The line label helps identify a place in a VBA model. The use is very simple. With a name, with a variable, use a colon at the end, and that will label that line with that name. And with goto command, we can send our cursor directly to that line. After that, we created a loop which changes the values from 1 to 1000 in a single cell, and that was the same loop we created with the use of for next, but this time we used line labels and if then else. After that, we talked about a case study wherein Mr. Ahmed moves daily to his office, and every Monday he fills up his car fuel tank, and every first Monday of the month he checks for car tire air pressures. And then we created a flowchart for this case study. After that, I congratulated you for becoming a programmer. And then to get the confidence, I gave you assignment of coding this study into VBA. For that, I showed you certain commands that you can use. It was range with interior color and color index, range with dot text, then if then offsets, and then the last was the application dot wait with now plus time value. And in time value, let me get away a bit, and in the time value I refer to use 0.1 second, and let's try to understand what this does. Application dot wait now is the current time up to seconds, hour, minutes and second, plus time value 1 second. So this will make your Excel wait your macro to stop execution for 1 second. And then I showed you how our worksheet would work. So let's see that again. Here it is. So if I click on my macro, the car starts moving either from home to office or from office to home. Right now it's coming back to home, and this is Monday. So if I run my macro now and Mr. Ahmed moves towards his office, because it's Monday, he stops over for fuel filling. So after fuel filling, he goes to the office. I'm pressing escape just to move the macro quickly. And with escape, you can stop a macro which is under execution. This can also be done with Control plus C, or keep pressing the escape button. This will end your macro or stop it in between while running. Okay, so if I have Monday the 2nd, and if I move it back to home quickly, and then I ask this macro to run. So Mr. Ahmed has left his house, is going to his office. He's stopping over at the fuel station. Yes, and the next step, stopping for checking the car tires air pressure, and then he moves to the office. So I asked you to code this. So let's run it again and see what if it is not Monday. If it is not Monday, it's Sunday, he should go directly to his office. So you can see now there is no stopover at the fuel station and he moves quickly to the office. So let's code this out. So here we are with our XLSX file. So first of all, we need to save it as XLSM and let's rename it to programmer 4. Now let's understand, this is the car, the blue one, this is the home, and from home these are the roads, this is the fuel station, this is the office, and this is the parking of the office, and we have colors in M1 for the car, M2 for the road, M3 fuel station, M4 office parking, and M5 is the standard white cell. So let's go to our Visual Basic. So this is our VB window, and right now we don't have any module. Let's insert a module and start coding. This is our module. So we should have our code here. So let's save and let's name our macro. That should be move Ahmed. So we will be moving Mr. Ahmed from office to home and back. So let's start step by step. The first simple thing is to move Mr. Ahmed from home to office directly without any stop. So we will be coding in certain steps. First, the simple, pick him up from his home and move directly to office. Then we will move to our next steps. So to do this, we need to understand where we are. The car is right now is in F7, cell F7. Then we need to pick up these colors. So when we move our car, the color should change. So the car color is blue. Let's see and go back to our code. Let's move the car first, and we have these codes. It's a simple copy paste in Visual Basic, so we can use it instead of typing again and again, and convert these two comments for the time being and move them to bottom. Okay, this is good. Okay, so let's start coding. Yeah, this is better. Okay, so first of all, what we need to do, we need to go to range F7, range F7 dot select, because this is the starting point. Once we are in F7, what we need to do is we need to move the car to the right. So let's get our offset command so that we can move our cursor. So then we move cursor to one column right, which is already 1. So there is no need to change. Let me move this window a bit towards left so you can see the whole command. Okay, and we can narrow this down. So we are ready now, almost ready. So F7, and then we have moved to one step right in the G column. But the point is, moving the cursor will not change the colors. So we need to change the color. So we need to have which color? First of all, this should not be range F7 anymore. This should be active cell. Active cell dot color should be what? We need to change it to blue. So where is the blue? Blue is in M1. So let's get the color of M1. How we'll do that? Let's define some variables. It is good to define your variables at the top so that whenever you need to make any changes, you don't need to go and find your variables. You can just change their values, their references from the top. And if you try to find any macros from the net, they are developed by good programmers, you will find that they have declared their variables and assign them initial values at the top of their code. So we will follow the best practice over here, and we will define our variables and assign them values at the top. So this is it. So how we'll do it? Say car is blue, so we will say blue. And where is blue? Blue color is in range. Which range? Do it this way. M1. M1 dot. What we need from range M1? We want its color, but we will be referring to the cell address. Where is the color? The color is in M1. So what we need is from M1 is the address. So let's pick up the address from the list of options we are having. I have pressed tab and address has been chosen. So blue, from the blue, the reference is from M1. If I execute this with F8, you can see what is saved in blue. That is M1. So now we have M1 stored in blue. So once it is offset, here you can see instead of F7 we can have variable blue, which is equal to M1. So instead of saying range A1, A and 1, creating I am directly using a variable that is blue that has M1. So if I execute this, you can see that the G7 is blue. But what is missing is that F7 is still blue. We don't want F7 to be blue. Once the cursor is moved from F7, F7 should be white. So from before moving, we have to make it white. But first get the colors. Let's get the colors. Blue is in. Do we need to give range M1 dot address all the time? No, I just did that for you to understand that we can pick up address of a cell. We can do simply by black is equal to, in inverted commas, M2, and orange is equal to M3, and green is equal to M4, and white is equal to M5. So we have cell addresses of colored cells in our VBA code now. So next step would be, before moving our cursor, we need to change color of F7 to white. So instead of blue, this should be white. So let's run this once again. Perfect. Perfect. So once this is blue is in G7, before moving to H7, what we need to do is, before moving to H7, we again need to change the color of G7 to black. So once the car moves, it is back to road color. Okay, sirs. So let's change color of active cell to black, which is road color. So let's run it. Oh, I'm clicking. What's happening? Right, there is no wait. Before turning blue to black and black to blue, there need to have a 1 second gap. So copy the wait statement and put the wait statement in between. So now we have a 1 second gap. Let's run it again. You see, there is a 1 second gap now before the blue turns into black. So let's code this out. Let's comment this out. Leaving for office. This is always a good practice to add comments to your codes, so that after say 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, if there is a need to edit the code, the comments will help you out understand what you have coded. So it's not about someone else's code, it's your own code. Always comment your own code so that you can understand what you had done. So we started living from office, range F7, we change the color, and after changing the color, we offset to the right. So we need to offset to the right for 1, 2, and 3 times. We started from here, 1 right, 2 right, 3 right. So 3 times we need to move to the right. And what we need to do after moving to the right, we need to change the color to blue, then wait for 1 second, and then change the color back to black. So anything which has to be repeated for a certain number of times, what we do? We create a loop, right? For next loop. We have already talked about it. So let's create the loop for move to main, or we can say correct lane. This is go to correct lane. This is our loop name. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I didn't put a is equal sign. For correct lane is equal to 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3, and we need to say next the correct lane. So let's run this and see what it does. Perfect. 1, 2, 3. Our car moves towards the right with a 1 second gap. So this was going to main road, and then once we are in the correct lane on the road, what we need to do? We need to move Mr. Ahmed towards his office, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 times we need to do to move cursor towards his office down. So move the cursor down. What we are going to do, we are going to just copy this code and we are going to paste it. So going to main road should change to going on main road. This should be not be correct lane. This should be for moving on main. So this is our next loop, second loop, and I always try to copy paste my variables so that there is no mistake of spelling. So this time we need to repeat the commands for 13 times. Okay, we can move 13 times, and this time it is coming down, so row numbers are increasing. Row offset should be 1, column offset should be 0, and blue, then wait for 1 second, and then black. I think this will work. Let's try to run and see if this works or not. Okay, we are on the main road. We are going towards our office. Go, go, go. Here we go. Perfect, perfectly stopped. So let's go back, and now what we need to do is we need to move to 1 step left, 2 step left, and 3 step left. So we need to add 3 steps towards left. So let's copy our 3-step loop, and we have now here going to office parking. So comment your code again and again. This time row offset should be 0, column offset should be -1, blue color, and then we need to turn it to black. No. Once we are in the parking, we don't need to turn it to the black. So this command should not be used. Oh, you can't see this. Why didn't you tell me? Here we are. Okay. So I just copied the for next loop and I just commented out the last command that was changing the road color. So let's run our macro. Developer macros run. Go, go, go. Here is our last loop. Oh, we have reached office, but the color is not changing. Why? The road is not turning black anymore. Because we commented out our command of changing the color. So color should change, but for the first 2 loops, but not in the last loop. What to do? What we can do is simple copy this and paste it and change the color of active cell back to blue. It will change this F20, the parking of office, to black and then quickly back to blue. This will happen so quickly that we will not notice. So let's run again. I'm going to press escape key so that this is done quickly. So you can see that now we have our blue color at the parking and the roads are black, so all good. So let's get back to our Visual Basic and see what we have done. Variables, leaving for office, going to main road, then going on main road, and then we have going to office parking. But did you notice the first loop, correct lane, and the last loop is again correct lane? So you can use same names of a loop, but it is better to use a new name every time. So let's change name of this the third loop, going to office parking as office park, and copy this with the next statement also. So now it is done, we are good to go. We have used almost these commands, so we can delete these. So we have reached office. What is the next step? We need to bring Mr. Ahmed back to home. So let's code it out. Back to home. What we need to do? We need to move one step right, then 13 steps up, then one step left. Okay, so let's code this out. So we can have our code from here, Control C, Control V. So first thing is we need to move one step right, column offset should be 1 so that the cursor moves right, and we will change to blue. But before moving to one step right, what we need to do is we need to turn office parking back to green, right? This should be F20 should be green. So active color should be green, one step to the right, and then it should be blue. And once we have blue, we have to wait for 1 second and turn that road back to black. So we have our wait and then turn it back to black. After that, there should be a loop on main back. So on main back is our new loop. On the main road, we are going back to home, and this should be same. This should be done 13 times. Okay, so this time it's going to be row should be decreasing. So when we are decreasing the row, it should be -1, and column, there is no change in the column, this should be 0. After moving our cursor to the top next row, the color should turn to blue, then there should be a 1 second wait, and then the road should turn back to black. So let's run it. It's always good to keep running your macros when you are coding step by step, so that if there is a mistake, you can identify and correct your mistake right there and then, instead of coding the whole macro and then running and trying to fix the errors. So here it goes, our car is going to the office. Oh, that was quick. Let's run it again quickly. run. So you can see that the car has quickly moved back to G7, and now the last step we need to move it to F7. So here is the code for the moving one step right. We can use this to move it to one step left. Back to home, parking, active cell. This should be green. No, it is already black, so this is not required. We'll move to one step right, one step left, and one step left should be column offset -1, and the color should be blue, and we don't need a weight, and we don't need the black color. Let's run our macro slowly with the weight so that we can see if it is working perfectly. Going towards the office. Yep, we have to wait. Let's see if it is doing the work perfectly. Now it's going back to home. Yep, perfectly. We have reached home. Everything going good. Now what we need to code. Mr. Ahmed is going to work at office. He's not going to just go there, park the car and pull his car out of the parking and come back to his home. So what we need to code is that if Mr. Ahmed is at home, he should go to office, and if he's at office, he should come back to his home. Okay, not the loop that he's going to office and then coming back at the same time. The one thing has to be done at one time. And how we are going to do it? If he's at home, he should go to office, or else if he is at office, he should come back to home. How this will be done? Simple logical test: if, then, else, and if. So let's start coding. Leaving for office, we need to say if what? If how we will check if he is at home? Simple. Not here. Okay, we can do it here. If, let me copy paste range F7. Yeah, I know I have to put things. Okay, sorry. If F7 dot color index F7, what is F7? F7 is this parking. If this parking is blue, right? If it is blue, this means that he's at home. Then if home parking is blue, then leave for office. Else is where? Before coming back to office. Else back to home. And we can have and if here. So remember, if has if, then, else, and if. So if, then, else, and if. If, then, else, and if. So let's run our macro and see what happens. Mr. Ahmed, I'm pressing escape. So the car stops now at office, and if I run when the car is in office, it comes back to home. With simple if statement, you can have a look at the code. If range f7 dot interior color index is equal to blue, this means that he's at home, he should leave for office, and likewise. So the next step, 3 steps done, coding from directly to office, then coding directly to home, and then if he's at home, he should leave for office, and if he's at office, he should come back to home. So next step would be, if this is Monday, we should stop over at the fuel station. But if we need to stop over, this loop, the 13-step loop, need to be break down. 1, 2. First, it should be 2 steps, then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 steps down, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 steps down. The 13 steps should be further broken. Where is our 13-step loop? This is going on the main road. This need to be break down into 3 steps. So copying it, pasting and pasting. So first we need to do it for 2 times. Main road, going on main road. Then we need to do it for 4 times, and then we need to, oh, there is some mistake. First is this. Yeah, first not 13. This is 2 steps, then 4 steps, and then 7 steps. 7 plus 4, 11, and plus 2, 13. So the loop of 13 is now appearing 3 times with 2 steps, 4 steps, and 7 steps. So if I run this, two steps, 4 steps, and then 7 steps. So what I need to change is now the 4 steps in between. These 4 steps I need to change. If it is Monday, instead of going down, the cursor should go right and get the fuel. So let's get, okay, before going to code, what we have in K2 is Sunday, and in K3 we have the 8 from the 8th March. We have 8. So let's go to Visual Basic and get these values in our code. So date references, rather day references. Which day is this? So let's define a variable, say let's call it weekday with a V, starting with a V. This will make it different from the Excel function VDay. So this is weekday is equal to it was in range. What was the range? K2 dot value. Let's check it out. We have K2 in, we have Sunday in K2. So if I run this right now, what is the value of weekday? Weekday should be equal to range K2 has Sunday. So let's check it out. Oh, why we have full date in weekday? It should be Sunday. Let's stop this here and get back to our sheet. This is equal to K1, and K1 has the date, but we have the full day is appearing. So if I look at the format, so you can see I am having a custom format DDDD. This format turns a specific date into weekday, that is Sunday. So how to get this Sunday into our macro instead of this 3/8/2020? I will, instead of using the value, picking the value, what I need to pick from this list, I need to pick text, T-E-X-T. So if I pick the text, whatever is being displayed in the cell will move to my variable. So let's run it and see what is the pick now. And you can see now it is Sunday. It's not the date. So dot text. So with dot text, I can pick up whatever is being displayed in the cell. So let's stop it here and fix our screens so we can see better. Here we are. Okay. So after picking the weekday, what I need to pick? The day number, the date or the month number, day number, whatever I send day number, and it is at range 83, and this should be value. Okay, here I go. So two values I have picked up from my sheet. One is weekday, the other is day number. So what if it is Monday? What I need to do is change this, the 4-step loop. So let's code it out. If it is Monday, which is weekday, better to copy our variable instead of trying to typing with, so that there is no mistake. If weekday is equal to Monday, and this should be in inverted commas, Monday, then do this, else we should run this loop and if. So let's use our tabs for better understanding. So if it is Monday, do this, we will code it, else do what we were doing normally, the 4-step loop, just bypass the fuel station. Okay, so what if it is Monday then? What we need to do is we need to move 1 step right, 2 steps down, wait for the fuel filling for 3 seconds, and then move 2 steps down and 1 step left to get back on the main road. So first, let's move 1 step right. Let's get this code. This is Monday. Yes, on Monday, what we need to do is we need to leave the main road and step 1 step to the right, and then change the color to blue, and then wait for 1 second, and then change it back to the color of the fuel pump, which was orange. So instead of black, what I need to do is change it to orange. Okay, now we are in fuel pump. What we need to do is we need to move 2 steps down or 1 step down. We are here 2 steps down. So we need to do our loop again, Control C, Control V, but we need to do it for 2 times. This should be in pumping station. Control C. In pumping station, what we are doing in pumping station, are we changing row? Yes, coming back one down, then turning it to blue, waiting for 1 second, and then the color should be not black but orange. Let's run our macro. What it do so far? Let's move the car to home, and this is Sunday. Let's change the date to 9. Now it is Monday. Let's run our code. What happens on Monday? Going towards office. In the fuel station, 2 steps down, boom. Oh, stop. Okay, pressing escape, and because it was within the code, it's fine. Because once we move 2 steps down after this loop, the cursor start executing the next commands. So this will happen all the time, because macro will do exactly what you are asking it to do. If you are not asking, it will not do that what you want to do. So you have to ask. So after 2 steps down, there should be a wait. There should be a wait for how much time? For 3 seconds. But instead of adding this here, because we need to wait for 3 seconds before the cell turns to orange. So instead of using this loop, let me get rid of this loop and simply copy this command the second time. And let's comment it fuel filling, and for fuel filling I have to wait for 3 seconds, and after fuel filling I have to come down 1, 2, and let's assume this is the tire shop at the corner of the fuel pump. So what I need to do is I need to move this down 1 time and 2 times. So first time it moves down, the wait would be 1 second, and second time it is also 1 second, but if it first Monday of the month, it will be 3. We will code it later. And once this is down 2 steps, then it should move to what will move to 1 step left to get back to main road, and this was at tire shop. So getting back to main road is done by changing the row. No, it is done by changing the column -1, turning it to blue, waiting for 1 second. But if I am on the main road, it should not be orange. This time this should be black. Let's run our code again, and let's fix this first. And what is important thing to do? Save. Control S. Always keep saving your workbooks every now and then. And let's run this. Developer, macros, run. Going towards the office. Wait for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Good to go. Tire shop, move back to main road, come down, Perfect, perfect. We have reached office parking after getting our fuel. So the next step would be, what if this is first Monday of the month? So first Monday bill will fall within the first 7 days of the month. So if so let's code it here. We can do it uh, at the tire shop, but let's code it here just for keep things simple. If but it is but if I'm doing it professionally, I will do it where it is required, so that even a split of a second is not wasted while reading a code that has nothing to do with the days which are not Monday and which are not first Monday of the month. So first, to keep things simple, I'm just coding it before the start. Okay, if this day number is less than or is equal to 7, then do this, and if, and we can have else. So we have our if then else, and let's code it. If this is less than this, then the variable stopover should be equal to 1, and this should be equal to 1. Okay, so this should be equal to 3. So day number is less than or equal to 7, then my stopover at the tire shop should be 3 seconds. Otherwise, it should be normal 1 second. So what I need to do is use this variable at the tire shop. Where is my tire shop? Tire shop, tire shop. Here is my tire shop. So this time value should be replaced with my variable, and I will be using this. So let's cut it out. So at the tire shop, it will be now plus stopover, and in stopover we have 3 and 1. So instead of writing 3, I need to tell it the time. So it should be is equal to time value 3, and instead of 1, this should be proper 1 seconds. So now my coding is complete. Let's go and run. Before going back, what I did at the tire shop, you can see application.wait now plus stopover. So let's go back to our worksheet and change this to say 3/2/20, 3/2/20 Monday. So this is first Monday of the month, and we should get our fuel plus we should get our tire pressure checked. So this is also white, so we are good to go. Developer macros run. Going towards the fuel station, getting the fuel, moving towards tire shop. Wait, it isn't waited. Why? Why? Let's go and see our code, what mistake we have done, because macro will do exactly we will ask it to do. If day number is less than is equal to 7, then time value 0.3. Let's run it in debug mode to understand what it is doing. Developer, Visual Basic, here is our code. So let me run it from here with the F8 key. Okay, getting the values, day number. Okay, I got the mistake. What is the mistake? We are getting the day number from K2 also. This should be K3 because we have this number in K3. So let's change it to K3. Stop and run. Were you yelling at me when I made this mistake? As Paul used to ask. So let's run this. Going towards fuel station. Stopping for fuel. Stop for tire. 1, 2, 3. Good. Good. Well done. And we are now going towards the parking. If you have any problem in this, leave a comment. I will answer you. So we are at office. Let's go back to home. And if you are able to do without my help, also leave a comment. I would really like to know who were able to understand my previous videos. There was some sound issue in those videos. What I will do is I will do some filtering with the audio and reload them for better sound quality, and so that you can do it. Do leave a comment if you were able to do this assignment without my help, and if you have some more questions about this. So let's run it with Tuesday so that we will be sure that this is doing perfectly. So this is Tuesday, first 7 days of the month, but this is Tuesday. We should not be going to the fuel station. Let's run it for the last time. Hopefully we will do it without any mistakes. Oh, good. Going straight to office. No stopover at the fuel station. So everyone, I hope you are feeling confident that you can program. This is the whole programming you need to learn. Now we will be moving towards learning more functions of VBA, but what you needed to learn as a programmer, as a coder, you have all the skills and you have developed this code, which is of how many lines? This is of 115 lines. So pat on your back, congratulations, you are good to go. You know VBA. Say with me, I know VBA. This is the spirit. So till next time, bye for now.